जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीर वनचारी। यमुना तीर वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीर वनचारी। यमुना तीर वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Jaya Radha Madhav Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhadramai Jaya Sudarshana Jai Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Nitya Gaur Hari Bol जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस अस्सी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्री श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रहि। Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you to today morning Bhagavatam class. So we are in second canto, 9th chapter, and 9th chapter is answers by citing the Lord's version. So we are at the last sloka today, the sloka number 46. यदुताहं त्वया पृष्टो वैराजातपुरुषादिदं यथासीत् तदुपाख्यास्ते प्रश्नान्यामश्च कृतस्नशः। यदुताहं त्वया पृष्टो वैराजातपुरुषादिदं यथासीत् तदुपाख्यास्ते प्रश्नानानंश्च कृतस्नशः। यदुताहं त्वया पृष्टो वैराजातपुरुषादिदं यथासीत् तदुपाख्यास्ते प्रश्नानान्यंश्च कृतस्नशः। Please recite. यदुताहं त्वया पृष्टो वैराजातपुरुषादिदं यथासीत् तदुपाख्यास्ते प्रश्नान्याश्च कृतस्नशः। यदुताहं त्वया पृष्टो वैराजातपुरुषादिदं यथासीत् तदुपाख्यास्ते प्रश्नान्याश्च कृतस्नशः। यदुताहं त्वया पृष्टो वैराजातपुरुषादिदं यथासीत् तदुपाख्यास्ते प्रश्नान्याश्च कृतस्नशः। माताजी। यदुताहं त्वया पृष्टो वैराजातपुरुषादिदं यथासीत् तदुपाख्यास्ते प्रश्नान्याश्च कृतस्नशः। Translation and purport. शब्दार्थ by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की जय। यत what uta is however, aham I, tvaya by you, prishtah I am asked, Virajat Vairajat from the universal form. Purusat from the personality of Godhead. Idam, this word. Yatha, as it. Ashit, was. Tat, that. Upakyaste, I shall explain. Prashnan, all the questions. Anyan, others. Cha, as well as. Krishnasaha, in great details. Kritnasaha, in the great details. Translation. O King, your questions as to how the universe become manifested from the gigantic form of the personality of Godhead, as well as other questions, I shall answer in detail by explanation of the 4 verses already mentioned. Purport. As stated in the beginning of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, this great transcendental literature is the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic knowledge, and therefore all questions that can be humanly possible regarding the universal affairs, beginning from its creation, are all answered in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The answers depend only on the qualification of the person who explains them. The 10 divisions of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, as explained by the great speaker Srila Sukadeva Goswami, are the limitations of all questions. And intelligent persons who derive all intellectual benefits from them by proper utilization. Thus, in the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the 2nd canto, 9th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Answers by citing the Lord's version. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakham Nitamsha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. तो आप सभी भक्तगण का मॉर्निंग भागवतम क्लास का स्वागत है. I seek all of your blessings so that I can speak on this matter. And this is the last shloka of this chapter, and very limited purport given by Prabhupada. So basically, this 9th chapter it begins with Pariksit Maharaj asked questions to Sukadeva Goswami about the manifestation of this universe and how it manifested the material and universal affairs, how a Lord comes into it, perform pastimes, all those details. So it begins with those questions in the 8th chapter of the last sloka, and then answers are given in the beginning of these verses of this 9th chapter in the yeah. Yeah, so the Pariksit Maharaj asked questions about what is the relationship of the jiva with the body of this unreal, this world. And I mean, jiva takes the body of the material form, and even Lord comes here in this material world. So does it take material form or is it spiritual? So like that questions Pariksit Maharaj asked to Sukadeva Goswami. So Lord replied to his questions in the first 3 verses, saying that that jiva in this material world has many forms, and it enjoys, with the various gunas, rajoguna, satoguna, and tamoguna, the various guna it enjoys, and then it always have the mindset of I and mine. So aham mameti, that bhava the jiva has, and then when it gets in touch by the Lord, Sukadeva Goswami says that when he gets in touch with the Lord, then all the I and mine, then aham mameti bhava gets disappeared, and the pure bhakti develops in the jivas. The heart gets transformed, and then this misconception of I and my disappears, and then he worship the Lord. He perform devotional service. So that is where this chapter starts. And once jiva develop that kind of love towards Lord, then Lord will give darshan. So that's what the next sloka. I'm just trying to summarize entire chapter, because ninth last sloka. So I like to summarize so that we can recall everything what we have learned throughout the months. 2 months spent in this 9th chapter, 46 sloka in total. So the Sukadeva Goswami says that when we develop love towards Lord, then we start doing the devotional service, pure devotional service, and the Lord will give darshan. So that is where here also the Lord gives darshan to Brahmaji, and then the conversation happens between Brahmaji and Lord Sri Krishna. So the Brahmaji saw the complete Vaikuntha, and then Vaikuntha Vasis, all the associates, Lakshmi, everyone serving the Lord. The most closest, the person of the Lord are those 4 or 5 personality. Anyone remember who are those? Yeah, so Lord gave darshan to Vaikuntha planet, and then all the people they are having their own aeroplane going throughout the Vaikuntha planets, and then the Lakshmi is serving to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then the close associates they are serving the Lord. Their name is Sunanda, Nanda, Prabala, and Arahana. So they are the close associate of the Lord, and they are closely serving to the Lord. And Lakshmi is serving the Lord, and then the singing glories of the Lord. So Lakshmi is enjoying having association of the Lord. So such a beautiful details is given about Vaikuntha planet. When Lord Brahma sees all those details, he become very pleased, and then he got intoxication. He got very attractive. And seeing the Lord's face, smiling, reddish eyes, yellow garments, earrings, shining crown, 4 hands, all the Vaikuntha Vasis, they are four hands form, and then Lord is having Srivatsa on his chest. So all these things, when Lord Brahma saw, the tears comes from his eyes, and then he become very pleased. And then what he did? He did pranama to the Lord. And then when Lord saw that Brahma is standing before him, then he wake him up, and then he said, you ask benediction, what you want. So that thing, Lord Krishna asked Brahma. So Brahma says that he did not ask any material opulences or any desires, but he only asked about the jnana, knowledge, right? So he asked about the knowledge about Lord. So that is where the Chaturshloki sloka begins, right? So what are the questions he asked Brahma? The first question is, what are the different forms of the Lord, right? What are the forms? And then forms which is there in the material world, the forms which is there in the spiritual world. The Lord has different forms. And then the second question he asked about Lord's energy. Lord has multifarious energy, spiritual energy, external energy, material energy, internal, so many energies he has. That is the second question. And then third question he asked about Lord's activity. So Lord activity is like how he does his pastimes between these different forms and his energy, right? Lord has different forms, and there's a various energy, and how he use all those forms energy to do the pastimes, right? So he asked about the activities of the Lord. So that is the third. Sri Sri Radha Madhav ki, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maya ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So that is third question about Lord's activity. And then the fourth question, it's actually not a question. He requested Lord that since he is going to create jivas, do the visarga, right, the secondary manifestation of this world. So he requested that give him mercy, so that since he become the first person and such an opulent position, such a great task that he is going to do after Lord did sarga, right, primary creation, and then secondary creation Brahma is going to do. So he thought that I might develop pride in terms of doing all this creation. So please give me mercy so that I will not develop any such kind of pride, and I will maintain or remain in my devotional position. So he requested for the mercy from the Lord. So the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, the sloka number 33, 34, 35 and 36, right, Prabhuji? So this four Chaturshloki Bhagavatam it is in the computer language we say zip file, right? The zip file, if you just unzip it will have thousands, how much you can zip, that many files and folders will be there. So that is in terms of technology, but in terms of spiritual science, this entire Vedic literature, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, everything is zipped into this four sloka, 33rd, 34th, 35th and 36th. And then Prabhupada says in the purport, it is depending on the speaker or the person who can explain about this four sloka. It is depending on the qualification of that person. So just four sloka, it has everything. Even if you look at, there's nothing beyond this four thing. The Lord's form, Lord expanded entire universe and everything belongs to him only. And he has different forms. He expanded into there are jiva also, but Lord has many various forms. And then his energy, and then he does his activities, and these things. If you actually look at it, then it's like the whole life and everything will spend in understanding. The Lord pastime is unlimited, right? Unlimited pastime, unlimited energy, unlimited quality of the Lord. So everything is given in the four slokas. And And then the last sloka, Narad Muni says to, now this conversation is happening between Narad Muni and Brahmaji. So Brahmaji, he became very happy with Narad Muni, his inquisitive nature, and his pleasing, he's making Brahma happy about following the order of his father or his spiritual master. Then he became happy to explain more details about this 4 slokas. He is going to expand it in 10 different topics. So he pleased with that, and then and he's going to explain in the 10th chapter. So that is where when we depending on our qualification, how much we can expand, how much we can learn, that much we can explain, and then people can understand about the Lord and his activities and his energy. So that's where the sloka is ending of this chapter. But the important thing here, we need to understand that even the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Jiva Goswami, I had the lecture, that this 4 sloka establish our Sambandha Jnana, Avideya and Prayojana. So how it establish Sambandha Jnana? Just by knowing the different form of the Lord, that Lord has different form, he comes here in the material world, he remains in the spiritual worlds. So when we know this about Lord's different forms, then we kind of develop a relationship with him. So that is a Sambandha Jnana gets established with the first sloka, which is 33rd. And then when we know that Lord has a form, not like other Mayavadi, they said there is no form, Nirankara. How can you establish relationship? How can you develop relationship? So to develop a relationship, you need to know and then see. So the Lord is having a form. So with that form, we will be able to establish relationships. That is where Sambandha Jnana established. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that this 4 sloka help us talk about developing a relationship with the Lord. And then Avideya. Avideya means to perform devotional service. How to perform devotional service, that is given in the 33rd, 36th sloka. In the 36th sloka it says, let me open it here. It says that one who is searching after the absolute truth must perform bhakti, which is determined as the best process. Only by bhakti, now one can develop or one can overcome bondage, pride and lethargy. It's saying, so that is Avideya. Avideya means when we see everyone is searching for something. So our ultimate search is Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we know him, then our search completes. So that only can be done by performing bhakti, devotional service. So that is Avideya. And then Prayojana. Prayojana is given in the 35th sloka. The 35th sloka says, I myself exist within everything created, and at the same time, I am outside of everything. So it is little confusing to understand. Lord says that I exist everything that is created, and even I am not in them. So it's just like when we look at this earth, right? Mud. So mud is there, and then you bring out some portion of it. You see that even if this mobile has some earthly elements, right? It has some earthly elements, and earth is still there, and it has some earthly elements in mobile and every other things. So similarly, Lord is there in the spiritual world, and at the same time, He is everywhere. He exists everywhere. But He says, I am not in them. It means He is not there also, because He is there in the spiritual world. He is what is called transformation in the different form, right? That is the first sloka, 33 and 34 says different forms. So in the different form, Lord is there. It's not like the Lord, the form which He's having in the spiritual world, the same form He's there in this material world. No, this material world form is called Vishwarupa, right? Universal form. Lord is in this material world in the form of universal form. So with that universal form, the neophyte devotee is taught to worship the universal form, because we don't see Lord here with the two hands he is there in the spiritual world. With that form, he is not here. So the neophyte devotee who do not know about Lord's nature and his rupa and anything, he is guided that you worship the universal form, Vishwarupa. So in that it is explained that how can we think, looking at the mountain, river and the various other things in this material world, you perceive that this is Lord's form. So in the material world, he is in the form of Vishwarupa, universal form. And in the spiritual world, he is there in the two-handed form. So that is the forms which describes the first and second Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. And then the 36 describes about how can you develop a relationship, that is by performing a devotional service. Without performing devotional service, our search will never end. We search so many things, we try many things, and we get a little bit of realizations, but ultimately our search ends when we worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so once that search is done, then we'll get to know that the Lord is, when we reach to the level of pure bhakti, it is suggested, when we have a vision of purity, then we will be able to see the Lord everywhere. In each part and everywhere, we will be able to see the Lord. So that is the prayojan, which is given in the 35th Chaturshloka. So we need to develop that level of purity, so that we can see Lord in every action, in everything. Because Lord says He is there in every parts, even the small atom, He exists, right? So how can we understand that? How can we develop that understanding that Lord is there in every atom, right? By knowing all these subject matters. Otherwise, we will not be able to understand. So this Chaturshloki Bhagavatam is very, very deep, and then it has a lot of meaning. Prabhupada has given long purport to understand. Sometimes I get confused. But this is what Brahmaji asked about Lord's form, Lord's energy and His activity. So Krishna explained all those things to Brahmaji. And then after answering these questions, the question which he asked, that please give me mercy or benediction which help me perform this Visarga, this secondary creation, manifesting all this Jiva in the different forms and the different planetary systems. There is a huge task that Brahmaji is going to do. So he asked for the benediction by which he can do, and he should not develop any pride while doing so. So Lord said that when you perform devotional service, when you do bhakti, and in that mood you do anything that will help not to develop any pride. So pride and all those things comes when we do not keep Krishna or bhakti in the center. If the Krishna is there in the center, if you are chanting and following regulative principle, having association of the devotee, and even though you have some desires, you will not develop pride. So Krishna assures in the further slokas that the devotee who is always worship me and always perform devotional services, he is not going to develop any pride. That assurance Krishna is given. So we need to have faith in that even though a pride comes, we'll have a knowledge. We'll be able to see through the knowledge that something which is coming, and then you will be able to take control of it, and then again continue the worshipping of the Lord. Just like in one of the discussion, the devotees asked Srila Prabhupada, and the Prabhupada says that Maya cannot, he cannot be, Maya cannot attract him. No, devotees asked Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada is worshipping, and then with folded head, he's crying, and then he's worshipping that please help me so that I should not fall under the external energy in the Maya. And then devotee heard about it, And then they ask, Prabhupada, you said that you'll never, Maya cannot do anything to you. But I saw that you are praying with a folded hand and then saying, please help me so that I should not fall in Maya. And Prabhupada says, because of this only, I worship every day, I pray every day, and I am just holding the feet of the lotus feet of the Lord, I will never fall in the Maya. So actually what he's saying, he's suggesting that we should tightly hold the lotus feet of the Lord so that the Maya will not attack us. So Maya means what? Krishna says here in the further slokas that Maya is nothing but the thing which is, you believe that it is not related to Krishna or his energy. So anything and everything is in relation with the Krishna only, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But sometimes we get into the illusion. That is also illusory energy of the Lord. Right? We get into the illusion and think that this is something independent. So when we have such kind of thinking or belief, that means you are under illusion, you are under Maya. So Maya means the thing which does not exist. Even the shadow, right? When we walk under the sunshine, we stand in the sunshine, we see the shadow, right? The shadow is coming from the object, right? From the object, shadow is created. But shadow, does it have anything? It does not have any value. But it exists when there is a sunshine. The sunshine, it is coming from, it's like Maya is also coming from Krishna, is the external potency, right, of the Lord. That is called Maya. And Lord says it is illusion. It is also said that we are all under this external energy, which is Maya. And in the seventh or eighth chapters, it was said that we are all under Maya. Our activities, whatever we are doing, it is just like we are in the dream. It is not true. Whatever we are doing, apart from this devotional services, anything we do, it is all illusion. It is not true. How can you believe that it is not true? So example is given that when you see a dream, and in the dream you'll have perspiration, right? The sweating comes. You get afraid of dreaming something, dangerous animals, just trying to attack you, and then you develop, sweating. And then you wake up and you see the sweat came, but the tiger is not there, right? The animal is not there. So which is like illusion. You are just thinking, you dreaming, and then you develop some sweating. So it was an illusion. So similarly, for soul is not afraid of anything. Soul is eternal, and anything happens with the body, the soul is not affected by it. So for the soul, there is nothing like fear or anything. Nothing gets destroyed. It is eternal. But when we are in this body, we feel all the pain, miseries, the happiness, sukha, dukkha, all those things we experience here. So this all experience is called illusion. It doesn't have any significance. It's not permanent. It's all temporary. And then it does not affect soul also. But the soul is just covered by this Panchabhuta, this material. So we are experiencing all these things. Just like example told that, of course, this is also in the material form. It is a kind of real only, because we feel pain and pleasure. But think about when somebody cut our throat, right? We can't see that our throat is cut, right? Can we see? We can't see it. But when you are in the dream, and then you are seeing that your throat is cut, you are able to see that your throat is cut. Who is seeing that? The soul is seeing that, right? The Atma is seeing that. Atma is saying in the dream that you are thinking about your body is destroyed, it has been cut, and you are able to see. But in this real life, in the physical body, you will not be able to see it. So in that way, we can conclude that Atma, the soul, knows everything, and it's not affected by the body. Like in the dream, you see that your body is cut and soul is able to see. You are waking up and you are realizing that no, everything is just intact, nothing happened in my body. But we think that it is our body, and then we feel the pain and pleasure. But when we remain in the soul, our Swabhava, then anything happens with the body will not be affected by. So how will not be affected by? That understanding, that knowledge, we need to develop. That we go beyond the bodily pain and pleasure to, and then only we will be able to, just like Brahmaji having darshan of the Lord. When you situate ourselves in the real Swarupa, then the Lord will give darshan of His forms, of His Vaikuntha planet and everything. Darshan will come. That is the teachings we can take from this chapter, that we need to establish in the devotional practice. We need to have a complete faith of the Lord, and then when we develop that purity, Lord will manifest in front of us and He will give darshan. Just like in the beginning of this chapter, Lord has given all those darshan to Brahmaji. And then again, when we see the Lord, and then what is next? The real duty begins, right? Whatever desires we have, Lord, the role He has given, the service He has given, we need to continue. That's the service. The devotional service is continue. Even even you are realizing that you are a soul or whatever, do the devotional service, and when you realize you are a soul, still the devotional service. So devotional service is eternal. But what we do in this material world, it is not eternal. So devotional service remain intact, because that is the Swarupa, that is the Swabhava of the soul, to perform devotional service of the Lord. It says, Jivere Swarup hai, Krishnere Nitya Das. Das means the servitor of the Lord, to perform devotional service. And then the further it says that when the conversation goes on between Narad Muni and Brahmaji, so Brahma says that I will explain about all these, the 4 Chaturshloka in detail, about the 10 subject matter of this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, everything is done. Lord forms, His activity, His energy, everything is explained. So what is further to explain, right? Of course, it is not mentioned that the Brahma is creating this universe, Jiva is having different forms to enjoy, in these 3 gunas. But it is not mentioned that what is the prayojan. Prayojan is not mentioned. So what is the prayojan of this, His creation? The prayojan is to bring back all the living entity to its original place, back to home, back to Godhead. That is not mentioned. That is mentioned thereafter in the forthcoming chapters. So prayojan is not mentioned, but that's what Brahma is going to say, that I will explain in more details. Why he is saying that I will explain in more details? You might think that sometimes what happens when you develop knowledge, we kind of try to do show, right? The people try to show that I know this much, so many things, and then it becomes like one develop an ego of having so much knowledge and explaining about it. So is the Brahma is also having that? No, Brahma is not having any kind of ego that he knows so much, and then he's going to explain more details about this all Chaturshloki Bhagavatam in the forthcoming chapters, and then throughout the other cantos. So he is having compassion towards Narad Muni. So because of his compassion only, this knowledge is transmitting to, in the parampara, right? It's coming from Krishna to Brahma to Narada to Vyasadeva, right? Vyasadeva to Sukadeva Goswami, Suta Goswami, and then in the Naimisharanya, right? Those, what they are called? Saunakadi Rishi, right? So that's how this knowledge is flowing. So it is because of the compassion. If the knowledge is not flowing, then we will not be able to know all these things, and we cannot perform devotional services. So knowledge has to flow. So whoever is transmitting the knowledge, this knowledge, it is kind of the form of Krishna only, because knowledge is coming from Krishna directly. So Krishna is having a different form, in the form of Brahmaji, in the form of Narada Muni, in the form of Vyasadeva, to transmit this knowledge in this world, so that everyone can know, understand about their real identity, and go back to home, back to Godhead. So that is important of explaining in the details about this transcendental knowledge to the living entity. And Brahmaji is very compassionate about Narada Muni's, his inquisitiveness. So it is about compassion, not about you are thinking that I know very much and then I will explain you. Brahmaji is not affected by this dvanda, right? Raga, dvesha, attachment, all those things. It's not like that. But here, we in this world always affected by this duality, raga, dvesha, sukha, dukha. We even small little things comes, we feel that we feel happiness, or we feel distress. In the morning we wake up and then we come out, and then you feel that okay, and this wall, if wall is empty, and if I put a beautiful picture, right, and then you keep the beautiful picture, and then you become happy. So see how even the small object, small little things giving you happiness, and somebody pull it down, then you become unhappy. So very frequently, or all the time, we go through this happiness and distress, because we are affected by duality, this raga, dosha. It always there with us, and that is where we need to understand that this is not actually our real identity, to be affected by raga, dosha. So how we can overcome from this raga, dosha? As long as this raga, dosha is there, we will not be able to serve the Lord. The devotional practice will not manifest in our heart, even though we do it mechanically. But if we really want to do it by heart, then we have to overcome from this raga, dosha, sukha, dukha. And then how it can come? The Prabhupada has given us this path, this chanting the holy name of 16 rounds every day, and then he made it so nicely that you do it from morning 4:30 to 9, you complete your sadhana, and then you do other devotional services. So when we do these kind of things, then only we will be able to understand all this raga, dosha, and then will not be affected by it in any circumstances, and then we will be able to relish, enjoy the devotional services. Otherwise, we will not be having any interest in the devotional service, because we feel that this service, the seva, whatever I am doing, it is giving me pain. But Krishna says, when you perform devotional service, when you do service to the Lord, or when you do the service to the Vaishnava, you actually feel happy, you will enjoy it. But that enjoyment doesn't come as long as I am talking about myself. So it doesn't come, means what? I am not established in my real identity, real swarupa, because I am still affected by raga, dosa, affected by some material objects, that I still feel that my senses will give me happiness, right? My senses, whatever senses I have acquired in this body, with these senses I can enjoy. But these senses was enjoyed the most by Hiranyakashipu, right? He has everything, all the opulences, right? He conquered all the demigods, everything he conquered. And then anytime he will just raise his eyebrow, and then all the apsara will come and then dance. So anything, if the temperatures go up, he will say, bring it down, it will come down, right? And then even in his body, there will not be any diseases. If the diseases develop, he immediately says, bring down whatever the sugar level or the BP or whatever you have, it is not going to affect any to Hiranyakashipu. So he was the person, the demon who has the greatest sense enjoyment, right? The greatest sense enjoyment. He has all the facilities, everything to enjoy. And how he was enjoying? He was enjoying through his senses only. the material body, material form, with that he was enjoying. And in the sloka it is said in the 7th canto, I think, the pastime of Hiranyakashipu and Lord Nrsimha. So it says that even though he has all the facility to enjoy, but he is still not having his tripti, tripti, he was not getting that ultimate happiness. So why it was not happening? Because he was enjoying with the help of gross body material senses. So with this gross body material senses cannot give you happiness at all. Although see, the Hiranyakashipu has so much of opulences, but he was not happy. He was not at all happy. Why? Because he was a Godas, right? We call it Godas, under the control of senses. So when you are under the control of senses, you will not be able to get the ultimate happiness. How we can get the happiness? When we become Goswami, right? Goswami. Goswami means we need to have a control over our senses. But we are not at that level. We still feel that our senses can give some happiness. So we develop different desires. If people get in one house, then they try to have the another one, right? Like that, desires increases, and we think that those things will give me happiness. So, but it is not the fact. We cannot enjoy with our senses. We can only enjoy by understanding our real identity as a soul and as a servitor of the Lord. When you know this, then you will start doing the activity, the devotional service, and that service will give you the enjoyment. Just like Brahma sees the Vaikuntha planet, and the Lord is served by the 4 close associates and Lakshmi. So they were serving the Lord and they are singing the glory of the Lord, and they are so happy. So similarly, even in this material world, when we are transformed in the sense, when we know our self, real self, that we are a soul, and we establish into it, and then we do anything, it gives a real pleasure. So we need to develop that level of purity to serve the Lord, to get the ultimate happiness. Otherwise, with this in the senses, it is not going to give us any pleasure. And the Brahma is giving this knowledge to Narad Muni is not because of he's having he's proud and then he wanted to showcase and all. It's not like that. He is having compassion and he's serving the Lord. The Lord has given this message to spread the glory of the Lord and the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So he is giving that knowledge to Narada, so that Narada can further go and explain this to other people in the parampara. So we are so fortunate that this knowledge is coming in our parampara, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, and then we are all getting benefited by this knowledge. So we should not be altering anything about this subject matter. The way it has been received by us from the Guru Parampara, we should continue to distribute. And then by doing so, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, whoever distributes this knowledge, he is his priya, right? His real friend. So when we distribute this knowledge, just like how it is coming from the top level, then we become priya to the Lord, and then we get the real happiness. So that is where it concludes. And then the further chapter, the 10th chapter, will talk about the details about this Chaturshloki, the other 10 subject matter about Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam. So all those details we will learn in the next chapter. So I'd like to conclude here. If anyone have any questions, and if you find any mistakes in my explanation, so please forgive me. Anyone have any questions, you can ask. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very nice lecture, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
For a non-devotee, senses and mind, like manasashtan indriyani, will, because of raga and dvesha, will torture him in different level. And for devotee, is it different or it is the same level, or devotee can like conquer it easily? Depends on one's practice, of course, but when we in the process of sadhana at the time, so how to keep in intact about the senses. And
Actually, when such thing comes, so it's like a mercy of the Lord that he comes in the form of, just like Brahma. Brahmaji is bewildered, right? So he don't know what to do. He's sitting on the lotus, and then he don't know what to do, and he's completely bewildered. So the becoming bewildered is the great distress, that we don't know what to do, what not to do, right? So what happened? He heard these two words, tapa, and he started doing that austerity. So in our life, when we get something, the distress or bodily pain, it is like a signal from the Lord that you do tapasya, you do austerity, you call the Lord, you try to remember Him. So when we do this, then this distress, whatever we are facing, it becomes a boon, right? But when we are not having that knowledge, then all this distress, we see that, it is my karma or what, and because of this reason or that reason, all those things happening. So when we, go in thinking about that, then the distress will increase more and more and more and more, and then you will die like that only. But when we see that, okay, something has come in our way, in my way, what is the message? Why it has come? When we inquire with the true heart, then the Lord will manifest in our heart, and then you will start liking devotees, and you start liking deities, and then you run for, you hanker for, going to the Lord. So that inquisitive, it comes, the Lord will manifest. He is there in our heart as a Paramatma. He will reveal everything. But when we are not inquiring, when we are just thinking about somebody is hurting me, this and that, and then we go like that, then the distress will continue and we die like that. So for devotees, when something like this comes, it is a signal that it's a mercy, special mercy by the Lord, that He is asking me to do austerity more and more, and then you become more serious about it. Otherwise, what happens when you are in the bodily platform, when we are in the condition of happiness, we are not so much serious about performing devotional service. But when we become a little distress, pain, then we call more seriously, we become more serious. So this dukkha is the instrument used by the Lord to awaken the real knowledge or real wisdom within our heart. We need to inquire. That is a reason for the inquiring. Just like my example, when I had a great back pain, IT, working in IT, it has become general in the public that whoever is working long hours, night shift, sitting, and then definitely is going to get some spondylitis or back pain. I got it, and then I said, I am not that much sitting. Why I got this huge pain? And then 2 months I was just lying down on the floor. And then, of course, Bhagavad Gita was there in my room. I never turned the pages. It was just there. But some deities, some photo, Lord there. Then, of course, going for the treatment is okay, taking the medicine, but inquiry was coming. Why it has come to me? There are so many people, and then they are not having that distress. Why it has come to me? I am eating timely, sleeping timely, having healthy food, everything. Why it has come to me? So that actually helped me to go deeper in trying to figure out why it has come. But hospitals, doctor will give you the reason, and if you go by that reason, if I would have went by that reason, then they would have cut my throat, and then all the operation, everything they done. But I did the inquiry so deeply, and then I said, okay, there is something which I would have done wrong, and then maybe I need to correct myself, something, I started thinking. Then some conviction came in my heart that, I will not go to the doctor. Of course, I will get this painkiller and then I'll get some relief, but I will pray to the Lord. I'll pray to the Lord, and then He can only help me. Somehow conviction came, He can only help me. But if I'm going to the doctor, they will do the operation and then they will cut. What will happen? They're saying it is very critical surgery. So I started praying so deeply. And then the pain and everything started disappearing. And then not going to hospital anymore. But if you don't inquire and call Lord, go deeper in understanding, then nothing will be revealed in our heart. We will not develop conviction. So I somehow got conviction. Okay, Lord can help me. Of course, doctor can help me, but Lord will help much better. That conviction came, and I started doing. Otherwise, depending fully on the doctors, the hospital, all cheating things happening, they would have operated. So this is my example. I am not saying that everybody should apply. If you are having pain, you should not go to the doctor. It depending on case to cases. But here I am. So I did not go, and I am cured. So distress, anything is coming, it is a signal in our life that we need to try to find in all circumstances, all scenario, it is there in the sloka, all circumstances, all situation, anywhere, wherever you are, we should search for the Lord. But when the happiness comes, we don't search. We always enjoy having the happiness situation, and we don't inquire about the Lord. So distress comes. If you're not inquiring in the happiness, okay, now we'll inquire in the distress. So Lord is having this instrument. But the happiness, actually in the Sattva-guna, we do not inquire much, but we do it more when we are in distress. So Lord, it's an instrument of the Lord to use this distress and all. And of course, this material world is the place of training, hospital, for us to know that why these things are happening. And then when we realize that is a training center for us to know that we are not going to get happiness. Of course, the soul, we always hanker for the happiness, but the happiness is not there. It is there for the temporary moment, and then it is gone. Distress is always there. So that is where inquisitiveness comes, and then Paramatma in the heart, He will reveal in the form of devotees, in the form of Guru, come in our life. It is very easy to understand. For me, it has become very easy for me to understand. But this is how the Lord has kept this system for us to know and go back to home, back to Godhead. Yes, Prabhu, hope I answered.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।